Welcome to the Blade Files. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ice with Cosplay. Yet another interview. Bringing them on big time now. So this time we're going to go and check out with the duo powerhouse of NZ Cosplay Supplies, as well as NZ Cosplay, the two girls of Alter Ego Cosplay, Becka, Reid, Regan Gaming. We're going to catch up with them, check out what they decided to wear for their interview. I'm not going to hint at all, but obviously it's going to be entertaining. Get their view on things all cosplay, find out a little bit more about their company too, and see what they've got in the works. Check it out, coming at you. Boom. Okay, so what's up, guys? It's your boy Ice with Cosplay. Welcome back with our 8th interview on the cutting edge of NZ Cosplay. And this time we've got the cosplay duo powerhouse, Becka, Reid, Regan Gaming from Alter Ego Cosplay.
Hello. Thank you very much for having us.
Yep. Feel famous now.
Total honour. So, like we always do, we'll just jump straight in, get to the questions.
Yeah.
So, how long have you both been cosplaying, and how did you get started?
Well, me technically, I've been doing technically cosplaying for 2 years, but I'm one of those weird kids who didn't have many friends, so I'd just dress myself up and I'd make dolls, like my younger siblings had lots of toys, so I'd always make clothes for their toys and shit like that. So not cosplay, but I've been making costumes in various sizes for many years. So yeah.
Them poor dolls.
I know. Oh, I've still got some of them. That's the worst part.
So I've been doing cosplay for about 3 years now. About 3 years. I did do costuming like when I was little because I had to be involved with like lots of dance and stuff like that, and make costumes for that with my mum. But I kind of only started cosplaying at like conventions and things like that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So what was it about cosplay that initially pulled you guys in?
Well, for me, it was definitely the whole, oh my God, I can act, I'm not alone. For a start, I was like, I've always enjoyed, dressing up and and trying to imagine myself as a different person or a different character from TV or something like that. And then when I found there's actually a lot of people who do this as well, I was like, sweet. I can do it with other people who enjoy the same things I do. So same fandoms. It was good.
Also, initially, I think changing her into a proper cosplayer was all my doing.
Yeah. Changing me from a into a actually I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because when she moved into the flat with me, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this cosplay, you can match this one, and then you can do this one, and then you can do this one, and it kind of like grew from there.
She pulled me into cosplay.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I had a few introductions, but she was the one who actually just grabbed me by the throat and just yanked me in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
What are friends for, man? What are friends for?
So what is cosplay really about for you guys?
Cosplay to me is about being part of a community. I mean, even though New Zealand is so small, it's really tight-knit and everyone's really good friends with everyone else, and it does have a little bit of drama here and there, of course,
with any
family. Expect that out of any family, and also being with people who have like the same interests and people that kind of admire something about you, like your techniques or your skills. It's a really cool thing for me as well. Yeah. So I'm a diva,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's sort of that family. It's as soon as she dragged me in, she's like a little sister to me. It goes without saying. She's my little sister. Sometimes she calls me mum, but it's that sort of relationship that you have with people. You go, you like what I like? Awesome! hey, brother.
We just
You
became
know?
best friends.
It's just that easy, you know, it's so much easier to make connections with people rather than just bumping into someone on the street. You can go, we have similar interests, and it's on show. You don't have to ask the person. You can just see by what they're wearing. You can go, oh, you're wearing that character. You must be a fan of that show to some degree. Awesome, I know what you like. So it makes it a little easier to approach people and make friends and expand that family.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Because
Why am I the only one with my hoodie on?
it's hot.
How much does your love of cosplay affect your life outside?
I think it affects
What
me.
life?
Yeah, it affects me pretty badly. I'm a uni student, and the advisors at uni are starting to, like, I'll walk in and go, hey guys, I'm having a bit of trouble with this course, whatever, and they go, but first, how was your cosplay last weekend? So even at uni, it's like I've got the staff at uni like going, hey, how did that turn out? What are you doing next? Show me photos. So it's sort of seeps into everything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it any other way now, because it's like it's constantly on my mind. I've even changed what I'm studying at university around my cosplay experiences, because I've just gone, I have such a passion, and cosplay has just gone, I can do this. You know, I can study this. I don't have to go and study accounting. No offense to any accountants out there.
Oh.
I am an accountant. I have accounting training. But I was like going, oh, do I go on and do, you know, my postgraduate stuff? But nah, I don't enjoy it as much. Screw it. I'm going to do film and things like that. So it's just like, nah, bugger it. I'm doing what I enjoy. So it has changed my life. It's for the better. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've met a bunch of random cool people along the way.
what we met in the bathroom.
Yeah, we met in the bathroom at
At
an
the
R18
cosplay
cosplay ball.
Yeah.
She was admiring how ridiculously high my shoes
Heels. What the
were. So that's how we became friends initially. And that's kind of like how, you know, she's impacted my life a lot. And, you know, us cosplaying together, we've been able to create such a tight knit thing between us, and it's just really great. Like, yeah, it's so good.
A bit too tight sometimes.
Oh, well, for all you accountants out there, there is still hope. You can find cosplay.
Yeah. It's like, if you enjoy accounting, hey, awesome. But
Yeah,
it
go
wasn't for me.
it.
This wasn't for me, that's all.
How do your friends and family view your love of cosplay?
Her mum is an enabler. Her mum, like, that's all I can say. I'm like, generally, you know, my family's, I've dragged my brother into it, my actual legit blood brother into it as well. My sister's actually an artist, and she looks at it and goes, that's actually very artistic, that's awesome. Whereas, like, Becca's mother, Becca will go, I'm doing this. Mum, I'm running out of time. Can you make this for me?
Yeah, help me with this. How do I construct this?
And her mum just jumps in,
yeah,
comes around,
like my
fabric
first
shopping.
fabric shopping. Yeah, I mean, my mum is like a woman of many talents. She's amazing at making cakes, and she's a fantastic seamstress. And I keep telling her, you know, like, why don't you do this for money? She's like, you know, I don't want to do it for money, because then I'll stop loving it. But you know, I think she enjoys the little projects I give her sometimes as well, because some of them are really difficult. Like, they're just, yeah, it's really hard to imagine it in real life. Once you see it in a movie.
If you've seen her most recent Assassin's Creed costumes, her and Adam, her partner, did matching Assassin's Creed costumes, and her mother made them. So it's like French Renaissance, not Renaissance, Revolution era outfits.
Assassin's Creed Unity. Yeah, and I won a competition.
Yeah.
And I have a life-size statue.
Yeah. And that's like, her and her mother made those. So it's like, that was amazing. You know, so her family is very supportive.
Yeah, and my stepdad as well. He's a boat builder, and he's really good with power tools. And he taught me everything I know. And yeah, it's like it's a perfect family to be born into.
Yeah, and so I mean, like on my side, my mum's. Sorry, Mum, if you see this, she sucks with a sewing machine. She said it herself. She gave me her sewing machine. It's older than I am, saying I can barely sew a straight line. You'll do more good with it. But she's really creative. She's always sort of, you know, encouraged us to make stuff. And my dad, again, he's a gardener and a builder and, you know, carpenter by trade. So it's sort of like I got taught, you know, the girly things, and the guy, you know, I got taught all sides of the spectrum. So it's like, hand me a power tool. Yes. Just as comfortable with a power tool as I am with needles and threads. So it's really come into play since I've started cosplaying, which is great. So,
just quickly,
awesome
too,
families.
that actual costume was how I pretty much got to know you guys.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Getting that statue.
What it was, but yeah.
Beating out the competition.
That was an epic. See, that was an epic show of family. The
cosplay community definitely banded behind me.
Thrown behind right there. What are your main motivations behind the cosplays that you both do?
I'm a mixed bag. I tend to follow her lead these days because she is generally more passionate about the costumes. I tend to get more passionate as that particular project goes on, but she's one who goes, I've seen this awesome photo.
Oh my god, this artwork.
And I just go, I hate wearing wigs, so does that person have dark hair? Or does that person have hair matching whatever colour I've dyed my hair at the time? And she goes, well, actually, yes. Here you go. So I do.
That's pretty much how most of our costumes will pick this year. Yeah,
well, this year's lot definitely was,
and some of next year as well. Yep.
And yeah, other people will go, oh, we're doing a group, and it's sort of like other people's ideas inspire us. Obviously, it's all very, very communal.
Yeah, well, our recent Disney Apocalypse Princesses, brunette eyes actually started that.
Yeah.
That phase, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! I need this." Every girl wants to relive a Disney princess dream, even if it is, you know,
I got
ripped to shreds and covered in.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm a badass princess. So, and that in itself is awesome because you can go like me. I'm going. I like Disney princesses, yes, but I don't ever want to really be in a ball gown. So, seeing the alternative, the Apocalypse torn to shreds version of them was like, I am dead keen. I am so motivated to make that because that is a version of a princess that I can do, that I am, definitely motivated to make and bring to life because I can relate to it a little better.
Especially since, she had the same sort of hobbies and interests and things as you, and you really liked, you really liked the movie.
Man.
Yeah, she's a little bit.
Here's the sad thing. When I finally got, we all allocated who's getting which princess, and I finally got Esmeralda, I was just like jumping for joy because I actually have the Barbie doll version of Esmeralda sitting on my shelf. I still have her. I'm 30 years old and I still have this one doll because I would make her proper dresses with the little bells attached and stuff. So I have a Barbie doll size version, fully mobile, her wrists move and everything. So I used to make her outfits, and I'm just going, I'm 30 and I get to make life-size versions of the things I made when I was 10. Yeah. So I was like, oh, so amazing. Such a big geek. This is just...
Yeah, so you were more into that sort of thing. I just kind of chose Snow White because, she was the first, and I always like to be first in everything because I'm totally the best. And also, she is really pasty, and as you can see, my complexion is very, very pale as well. So, that was a kind of a given there.
It's like, oh my god.
So
we become our
obviously,
characters.
this is probably going to be more related to one of you more than the other. But how much do you like to embody the character you cosplay? And is it all about becoming the character for the day for you, or is it just another fun character for you to be for the day?
You talk about me, aren't you?
Yeah.
For the first half of the question, yes.
Damn
Well,
nerds
yeah.
these days.
I think that's what sets cosplay apart from just dress up parties is just that you don't have to go all out as the character, obviously. Like, I'm clearly not Esmeralda. Well, but
Well,
yeah.
technically, when she was making the cosplay, she was like, "Oh, I made this little hip scarf thing," and she's like, "Look, I can belly dance." Yeah,
And I can belly dance.
Yeah, she did that.
So I was this close to actually doing a skit as Esmeralda. So
You did say that. You did say that.
Yeah,
but it's definitely, to me, that's what sets cosplay apart from just dressing up and going to the nines or whatever, 9, 7s. I'm not a sports person.
the thing in Wellington.
The thing in Wellington. But, you know, it's just that little element that, yes, you can kind of actually put yourself into that world to a degree, you know, because you just get to be someone different for a day if you're inclined. It gives me more confidence. I'm definitely a more outspoken person when I'm in a costume or something.
Definitely.
So
but yeah, like, I mean, some of the characters that I've chosen over the years, like my first Assassin's Creed, I was absolutely obsessed with Assassin's Creed, and when I went to Mum for my first cosplay, and I was like, "Mum, make this!" And then, you know, when I was like walking around, I was not even with anyone else. I was dressed up by myself. Like, I had 2 people who were with me, but they were all normies and weird people in normal clothes. We don't like those. And so yeah,
they
and
have
I was
their
just
roles. They're the bag carriers.
bag carriers, honestly.
Handlers.
And I was just kind of like walking around, and sometimes I'd like hide behind people and stuff, and I felt like an absolute dork. But you know, I was having a great time. Same with like Harley Quinn. I have like a really kind of I love Harley Quinn because she's insane. And when I cosplayed her last year, myself and my partner Adam definitely got into the vibe. You know, broken phones from him breaking things, and
she was Harley and he was Joker.
It was definitely.
He definitely embodies characters as well. He
I have it on good account that he actually put the shirts up Spartan Guy, which, I mean, if that doesn't say it all, for Joker to give the shirts to King Leonidas.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm a tall girl, you know, I'm pushing 6 foot, but even her partner Adam towers over me. So, 6'4",
6'3".
Joker. Just a touch on the scary side.
And he's not like a skinny
no,
guy
he's
he's
a bodybuilder kind of guy. So
yeah.
Yeah, totally noticed
6'3" bodybuilder.
If he wasn't my partner, I would have definitely been intimidated.
I know him, so it's okay. I saw him putting that makeup on. It's okay.
When you choose a character to cosplay, is it based on how much you just love the look of the character, or is it more a character you find you can relate to?
I think to start with, for me, like when her motivations obviously are slightly different, but she'll go, "This is what I'm doing a cosplay from, pick your character," and I'll normally go, "I know that series, I'll pick one I can relate to a bit better." And in most series, you can find different versions, like different, like, oh, that's that one type of armor for that character, they've got another type. And then you can, you know, pick the character that you relate to and then choose their clothing. Because there's so much to choose from with a lot of these sorts of areas of cosplay, like the different fandoms.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, yeah.
It
always comes back to Assassin's Creed in this house. Can't get away from it.
You pick your assassin, and then you can pick which version, the costume from halfway through the game, the costume right at the beginning of the game, the costume at the end of the game, you know. So bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, like for some of the costumes we chose today, this year
Today.
actually. Well, but yeah, today. Oh my god. So yeah, basically the costumes that we've chosen, some of this year, is kind of like a joint decision as well. Like I've kind of suggested that I want to do something, and then Regan's had like a past interest in sort of things that which we will be revealing later. But yeah,
Stay
you know,
tuned.
yeah, stay tuned, guys. But yeah, for sure, like definitely we are going to be doing like a World of Warcraft cosplay, for example, and I was totally having no life ever playing World of Warcraft, and you know, Regan was the same. Believe it or not, you know, I know everyone thinks we're so cool. Secretly,
You can just tell by the overall total tan. It's obvious in your life.
yeah. But yeah, definitely.
What is this life you speak of, and how many of them do I get? 3 little hearts in the corner?
Yeah, for
4?
sure.
Oh gosh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, we are.
Are there certain websites you guys use for advice, etc., when you start a new cosplay, or do you just pick a project and get to work with your own skill set?
YOLO.
Yeah.
Mom.
She's the YOLO. She's a I don't give up.
Yeah.
Type. Actually, because we flat together, normally it's we pick our cosplays, and then it's normally I hear down the hallway, Regan, how do I do this?
How on earth did they ever expect me to construct this thing?
Or like we'll literally be in our our respective bedrooms, and we'll just be Facebook messaging each other to start with, going, "Oi, how do I do this? Oi, what do you think I should do for this? Oi." So we attempt each other because we've got, sort of broad experience between the two of us. When you combine us, we're pretty, and then after that we sort of expand to like websites. Clearly, YouTube.
YouTube is a godsend. Yeah, definitely. There's something that we don't understand.
And then of course my little fangirl moment, Kamui cosplay.
Ah, yes, Kamui.
Yeah, it's normally you can't go wrong with that. And then you just sort of filter through, and then if you're really stuck, you jump onto Cosplay New Zealand, either on Facebook, and then go, "Hey guys, I've scoured the wide web.
Help me."
So yeah, what is it? Kamui. Is it Punish Props?
Punish Props,
Props.
yeah. Punish Props for foam, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Bill Duran, he's just amazing.
Strange enough, Pinterest.
Pinterest has a lot of good
It's not
stuff as well.
Yeah, I haven't delved very deep into Pinterest. It's normally I'll just search Pinterest and get visuals, because I'm definitely if I see it, I tend to just muddle my way through and actually manage to recreate things. So.
And there's a lot of cool tutorials that I found, like just researching stuff on Pinterest. Like I don't even use it, but I have like heaps of followers for some reason, and I just gain them. I don't know, like so many people were like, I get so many emails.
She's just a social media beacon.
Yeah, so many emails. Something so and so has followed you on Pinterest, and I'm like, I have a Pinterest.
Yeah.
Huh.
How did that happen?
Interesting. But yeah, I've found some really cool cosplay tutorials, and a lot of cosplayers use Pinterest as well. So you come across like their boards and things, and if they're doing a cosplay that's like yours, you're like, yes, I can steal your material. Whoa.
Yeah, like you can normally come across someone somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Google. Does that count as a website? Google.
Google
Images.
It's
Tap.
totally fine answer that one so far.
Yeah.
What techniques do you guys use build-wise, and which do you favour? Like, do you work mostly with foam, or do you prefer to sew your costumes, or a mix of a million different styles?
Generally a million different styles.
Yeah, basically the most expensive thing and the most expensive ways you can think of, we're going to do it.
Yeah. Like me, I'll go, I could just buy that. Oh, yeah, like that thing recently saw on Facebook. I could buy it for $7. Oh, you can make it yourself for $92. It tends to happen.
Which every cosplayer absolutely understands.
I think it's definitely the you pick your character first, and then you do what's required for it. Like if you're motivated enough and you're dedicated enough to making that cosplay and seeing that character come to life, you will find a way. If you're not familiar with it, you'll research it. You find it. So I've picked up a few extra skills that I hadn't before. Like I'd never really used an overlocker until Esmeralda. Oh no, Moxie. Sorry,
Moxie.
I lie.
Mm.
So Auckland last year. I hadn't used an overlocker since high school, and for me, yeah, it was long ago enough. So I was like, oh, overlocker. But no, sweet, okay. I needed it because of what I was making. It was very sewing heavy. It was just pretty much all sewing. So I was like, I needed to use an overlocker. So I just forced my way through and taught myself how to do it. So it's like, we don't sort of set out going, I'm only making a dress. I'm not doing any armor work. It's definitely you pick your character.
Yeah.
And then we figure out how we're going to put it together.
Yeah, definitely. Also the fact that, if you pick your character and if it's for a competition, like I've planned for many characters for competitions, I'll usually use like a cheaper material if I'm not going to compete, that kind of thing. Like I work part-time, and I was a student. I will be returning to study as well, so I'll be even poorer.
So it's also, definitely a financial thing. So obviously with the whole warbler
financials and
increasing popularity of the warbler, it's like, oh yeah, we're really tempted to use warbler for everything. But
especially when it's
sort of like, no, it's that I'm only going to use this for one day and it's not a competition piece, so I'll just use craft foam because it doesn't need to last as long. So yeah, money helps also in the how you rank the importance of what you're doing.
Definitely.
So
what would you call essential tools for building, as well as say dream tools that not everybody has or can have, but if you could have, would certainly help in a huge way?
All the tools.
Laser cutter, CNC machine, 3D printer. God, the list goes on.
I think the most essential tool is a real life version of Tony Stark. You can just
just Iron Man.
I want this, please, Tony. Here you go, darling. Thank you, honey.
Realistically, though, I think every cosplayer definitely needs a heat gun if they don't have one. Because not just for Warbler, but for foam and, molding.
It's amazing.
A lot of things like that. PVC pipes for bow and arrows and things like that. So, it's a very good tool.
And it's also good if you want to, weather wooden things as well. A heat gun, you can just set it to the higher temperature and just quick blast. And it tends to give it that wood an aged look. So it's like, it's a multi-purpose.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and definitely a rotary tool as well that comes with a bazillion
attachments.
Which
so you can get
very helpful. Definitely.
And they're not too expensive, really, in the grand scheme, considering how many different pieces you can get. So a entry-level rotary tool is what I think I saw one for $30 at Bunnings.
I paid $60 for the one that we have, just because I want one that lasts a little bit longer. But it's still.
And there's two of us, so technically we're getting our money's worth with the $60 one.
Yeah.
But for a $30 rotary tool set, you're getting at least 24 different attachments. So it sort of saves you on having to buy a sanding tool and a mirror and drill bits even.
Yeah, drill bits. Yeah, it engraves and it can do detailing and
so a rotary tool.
Battle damaging.
Good pair of scissors. Tin snips for your craft foam and warbler and stuff, and a good pair of fabric scissors. Because even if you're not sewing a lot, some cosplays are eventually going to have fabric in them, and you're going to want a pair of dedicated fabric scissors. Because you don't want fabric scissors cutting paper and getting blunt.
Honestly, if you try and cut paper with fabric scissors, she will murder you. She will.
I am very particular with my.
Huge on that.
I am very particular with my stationery in general as well. Like, I picked up a Vivid the other day, and oh my god, she's mutilated my Vivid. I went spastic. I just went nuts. So it's like scissors, glue, sellotape. It just vanishes, and I'm like, what the? Fights break out over a pair of scissors in this house. So, and rulers. A
good ruler.
Long,
definitely
good ruler, preferably metal, because then you're not gonna break it like I did. I managed to snap a plastic ruler in half.
It was one of those like bendy, extendable ones, and she just went, "Oh, I'm gonna go
so
the
a metal
other way."
ruler. That is definitely on the must-have list.
Either that or a wooden one, because they don't. Yeah.
They don't. Well, I might break a wooden one.
Yeah, but you're not going to be bending it if it's like a full meter long. You won't be like,
I don't know my own strength.
See what happens when you try and channel your inner Amazon?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It just
it just flows. It just breaks things. This is why we can't have nice things, right?
Me.
That's why.
Just
she
quickly
keeps
though.
me well away from that statue. I'll tell you that much. That statue is like cordoned off.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is there a cordon around it?
There's like no-go zone for Regan over there.
With your mention of the 3D printer today, like I did another interview today with a friend of mine from the States, and he's very old school in his thinking about the way he goes about his cosplay build, and he's not completely against the idea of 3D printing for cosplay, but he's of the belief that it takes away the build sort of aspect of cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I would see it as the easy way out.
I'm on the fence of that. I guess because I'm not very, out of the two of us, I am clearly deficient in computer skills. I can type really fast, but I've seen people using it and just the designing, having to design it in the computer before it can be printed. You have to be very specific. So for me, I'm kind of in awe of people who can get into the CAD programs and whatnot and design down to the last detail before it's printed. So because I'm the person who has to see it in the flesh.
Yeah.
So I respect people who can use that's technology to their advantage, because why not?
Yeah, like if you are doing commissions for people and stuff like that, I would say that would be something that I would look at as a 3D printer. Because they're dropping down in price. I'm watching them all the time.
We're definitely keen to get one when it's affordable.
Yeah, but definitely, I wouldn't ever allow something to be 3D printed for a competition.
Not solely, anyway. Like components,
so that kind of
maybe. Again, Assassin's Creed. If you're building the hidden blade, maybe print out components, but you cannot print the entire
put
thing.
It all together and everything like that. Yeah, that was definitely...
as long as there's hands-on. Hey, here's an entirely 3D printed sword. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna 3D print my Stormtrooper armor. I made it all.
That I think is cheating.
That's definitely not
cheating,
something.
but there's middle ground, I think, in the 3D thing. You kind of have to keep up with the technology, but there's definitely that line.
I still love jumping into the deep end with the jigsaw and just meow, just cause I can.
And the jigsaw.
It's real interesting.
I cannot shake my head fast enough. There's me outside because we don't have clamps or a garage, so it's normally me. Regan, can you hold down this piece of wood? So I'm vibrating with the wood. Clamps. There we go. That's another essential tool for that last question. Clamps and vices. That would be brilliant. I think we need those.
Yeah, well, it's like if I really need to do something, I'll go to my parents' house because my stepdad has a workshop and he has every single power tool known to mankind, and he's got the benches, and it just makes it so much easier. And then I come here and I have to
we have a 1 by 2 meter shed.
Yeah, so it's for storage.
That's where all the spray paint lives.
and spray painting when it's raining as well as
We'll be finding our cosplay mansion one day.
Yeah.
To house it.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
That's on the dream tool list. Does that count?
Cosplay
A
mansion.
garage. Does a garage count as a tool?
But that is usually.
No,
a
the
bit much.
cosplay mansion. You need
Oh,
a makeup
yeah.
room, a
We've got
sewing room,
we're getting a cosplay mansion, by the way. You know.
a
that's-
4-bedroom workshop.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a whole complete TV series right there.
Yeah.
I know. No, it's not MTV Cribs. It's MTV Mansion.
TV cosplay mansion.
Cosplay mansions.
Yeah, look out,
at
look out, heroes of cosplay. We're gonna take over.
Yeah, cosplay mansions. That look copyrighted
Yep,
right here.
yep.
Intellectual property, ours.
Saw it
We just
first
have to
here.
get the mansion
Yeah.
first.
See, look, it's going to be out there, so we said it first. We said it first. We have proof.
For sure.
How do you deal with the cosplay build blues when you just can't seem to get anything going?
Cry.
I'm trying to keep this PG rated. Yeah.
A long walk to the alcohol store, maybe.
Well, it's good that we have each other because you know,
There's definitely been some times where
when because we're not always obviously building together, so she might be having a break, but I'll still be downstairs in the lounge just going hard, and I'll just go, oh my God, help. And I'll rage and I'll storm up the stairs and just go, ah, and she'll come out and go, what? And she'll bring me down and she'll be like, it's okay, just chill, go and play a game, go back to it. We just tell each other to calm down. Basically.
I remember one time, this was when you were making Esmeralda, and she was not happy with the way the skirt looked, and I was just basically like, she was like, I'm giving up, I'm done, and I was like, no, you need to calm down, you need to breathe, and remember, there's no sewing machines or overlockers in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So she ended up finishing it, and what did you win with it? Yeah, see? Face to stick it out.
Yeah. It's because obviously we're also gamers, so there's often we'll either have music playing while we're crafting, and if that doesn't keep us going through our rut, then we just sort of, it's normally the other one goes, oh, just go and play, just and we'll shove the other one out of the room, and we will just go and spend an hour or so just gaming on whatever takes our fancy at the time and just chill and then jump back into it. We try not to spend too long away.
I
when
call
we're
it
in a bad
cosplay
mood.
research.
Yeah, cosplay research. So good. Because that way we're technically working on our cosplay, but not depressing ourselves while working on our cosplay.
What tips do you have for budding cosplayers beginning their journey into costuming?
Enjoy it. Pick a character that you're going to enjoy for the first time.
Yeah, definitely don't pick a character that you have no idea who it is or anything like that, because I was not going to pick.
It's definitely the passion for that character for your first one is definitely important. Like, okay, my first technically cosplay was a mashup of My Little Pony and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
which she absolutely loves. So
I'm an 80s kid all the way. Like, I was born in the early 80s, so I grew up with the original My Little Ponies and Ninja Turtles, and I had I was like 9 years old with a leather jacket that had the Ninja Turtles on the back, and I was just like, see, look,
I'm so cool.
I feel so awesome. So
That
I
was
like,
my idea, by the way.
yes. So I was like really happy to I was like, this is my first proper cosplay. I know it's not a legitimate character, but I like these two things. And I just went, I'm going to make it, So, and I think that's what's important, because you will always find a way to do something. Like, I hadn't done any sewing, or hadn't done much sewing before that. And it was just no, I want to make this. I don't care. I can't find this anywhere else. I'm going to make it. It's like necessity drives you to find ways to make things. So I think that is what helps make you be a better cosplayer as well. It's like you go, well, you're determined to make that, so you will find a way and you will try different methods that you hadn't tried before in order to get it done. So
yeah, definitely. And I mean, also to maybe like for us in New Zealand, you'd go to Cosplay New Zealand, you'd make yourself known, no matter how shy you were, because our community is very welcoming. And I'm sure that in the, you know, in the States, in the UK and stuff, there is a wide range of cosplayers. And so there would be, if I was a budding cosplayer, I would definitely search out those kind of avenues where I could, you know, talk to people and get advice from like the veterans of cosplay. For sure.
Oh, veteran. Just that word scares me.
What was the first get-in that you went to, as well as your favourite get-in to date?
Technically, I've been to get-in much longer than she has. I've been going to Armageddon since 2005.
Oh, then I would have been. I believe. Still be there. I was going when I was like.
Okay. Well, I used to be.
Just little.
I'm not involved with them anymore. I'm still, you know, I'm still friends with everybody. But I used to be involved in a professional wrestling company, and they have been going to Armageddons forever. Like, they get paid to come in as the entertainment. So I've been going along to Armageddon, every Auckland Armageddon for the last 10 years, sort of thing. Not in cosplay though. So I've been doing it since it was back at the RTS Centre and stuff, where it was hot and sweaty and you were stuck in. Oh, that was awful. Never go backstage at a wrestling show because it's just
yeah.
And at the RTS Centre it was hot and stinky. So my first Armageddon experiences weren't all that great because I would tended to have to be backstage because I was either in training or a referee or something like that. So yeah, Armageddon wasn't too much fun back in the day for me. But now that I'm cosplaying, I get to be on the outside. I get to go out in the fresh air, which is good. So, but my first non-Auckland one, because I'm obviously an Aucklander, born and raised. My first non-Auckland Armageddon was Hamilton last year, so 2014.
Yep.
My first non-Auckland one. So I was like, that was an experience because I'd gotten used to the Auckland scene, you know, seeing it from both sides, and then to actually just go to a different Armageddon in cosplay, you know, proper cosplay for the first time. So that was just like eye-opener. It's like, okay, this is awesome. Okay, nice. Hamilton. Did good. So Hamilton was kind of my first. Kind of.
Yeah, well, like as Regan said, you know, we've been going to Armageddon's separately, obviously, for a number of years, and probably my favourite would be last Auckland. I also went to Wellington last year, and it was a very, very last minute decision.
It was like 3 days before.
Oh, not even, like the night before.
No, like 3 days before you were finishing a costume.
Yeah. The night before Wellington Armageddon, I booked flights and flew out at like 6 o'clock that morning.
Screw it, I'm going.
Yeah, and one of my old friends who wasn't even like cosplay related or anything picked me up from the airport, and then I went to Wellington and I stayed with Kyle and Laura from Wellington, and they were really, you know, they were nice. And I kind of like, I wasn't really with them the whole time at Wellington Armageddon either. I was kind of like off on my own, doing my own thing. And it was a really good experience, But definitely last Auckland was really cool because, you know, I had like my partner, I had Regan, I had our other good friend Lucy, you know, we had a lot of friends there.
We were there. Like, yeah, because last Auckland was when you did your Unity cosplay.
Yeah, my Assassin's Creed Unity.
And that was the first one I dragged my little brother to. I say little brother, he's bigger than me, but younger. So. That was the first one I dragged him to, and he came in the first thing he'd ever made. He did a Army of Two cosplay. So it was camo gear, but he painted the mask himself, and
You did a good job.
for him, that's awesome, because he's definitely more of he's a radio guy. He's a radio broadcaster, so he's all talk, and I haven't seen like song creative from him before. So he painted the mask and he did it really well. I was really proud of that, and now he's like full into it. He's even got a cosplay girl, so it's kind of cute. So I'm like, oh, it's adorable. So it's like, yeah, and that Auckland was his first one, and so Auckland last year was brilliant. 2014, I think, was definitely our favourite so far. And kind of second on is the Hamilton, just gone because I won.
Okay.
Like,
Given your local, or not local, Armageddon is typical event for cosplaying, is it the main reason you go to an Armageddon, or do you like the panels and the special guests, or you just go to catch up and hang out with friends?
like it all.
I like spending money.
Yeah.
Like buying all the merchandise.
Oh, like our friend Lucy, that is her main goal. Before she she was like really good friends with us. Like I've known her. She's a friend of mine, so before we sort of dragged her into cosplay, her main reason for going was just she would save up money all year. She would go with not a shopping trolley,
like
one of those
Nana
trolleys that you just drag along behind you. She would save up. Yep, she'd save up her money. She'd go, that's my Armageddon wallet, and that was all she'd do. She spent all 3 days from opening till closing just going from stall to stall to
that girl
stall.
can shop.
Yeah.
Like, for real, that girl can shop.
Oh, honey.
Woo, she can drop some bag.
Yeah. So I'm not quite as into the shopping part as Becca and Lucy, but
I don't spend that much money. I'm
Would
not
you
on
if you
her
could,
level
though?
at all.
yeah, oh yeah. I seriously, there's stalls that Becca just has to go, no. And to me, as we're walking past, it's normally, different fandom stuff. There's one I'll go, yeah. So she's just like, no. And because we know the Arkham City Comics, Arkham City? Is that what it's called? Or just Arkham Comics?
Oh, I think it's Arkham City.
Arkham Comics up here in Auckland. I first knew those guys through wrestling, funnily enough, because one of the guys, Mikhail, who works there, is a
Give away his secret identity.
He's a wrestler. I'm not saying which wrestler he is. He's a wrestler, and he's a comic book artist. So, like, I knew them yeah, very, very
kind of like intertwined.
Yeah. Everything's intertwined. So I used to go to Armageddon and see Jeremy and Mikhail at the Arkham store and just go, oh, I recognize you from wrestling. And now I go there going, suckers, you know me too well now, and I'm in a costume, so you can't get rid of me because I can be loud and people won't care. So it's like, yeah, I go there to see people I know, and yeah, the special guests are good, but obviously I have to pace myself. I kind of destroyed myself at Auckland last year.
Yeah, she did. She didn't end up making the Sunday last year. I had to leave her at home.
Yeah, like so Auckland last year was good and bad. Like the time I spent there was good, but I have I don't know, what do you call it, medical condition?
Chronic pain.
I've got a chronic pain disorder. So I can overdo it physically. Like the simplest tasks can be quite draining. So the Saturday that we went, we were there about 6 hours, I think.
Yeah, about it.
And just 6 hours of wandering around, and
with rests as
with
well.
rest, like I was sitting down. That was enough to make the next 30 hours dead. Like I came home from the Saturday Armageddon and just crashed. I went to bed and went, I'll have a nap and I'll get up and I'll finish my cosplay. And I finished working on my costume, and didn't wake up until the next night. So I just slept the entire day away. And it was Lucy and I turned 30 around the week of Auckland Armageddon. So we're like, oh, the Armageddon Ball, that can be our 30th birthday party. Sweet. I missed it.
Which happened to be on the Sunday.
I was comatose. I literally couldn't lift my arms off the bed. So that kind of sucked. So it's like when we go to Armageddon, we go there for everything. The costumes dictate what we do while we're there. Like if we're in a hard to move in costume, there's only so much you can do. Like you go full cosplay and you, but if you're in
you get handled around.
Yeah. So it depends what you're wearing as to what you do on the days, but we try to do everything, you know, do a panel, at least 1 or 2 panels over the weekend, do a bit of shopping, do a bit of catching up with everyone, because obviously it's a big event. Everyone's going to be there sort of thing, all our friends. So bit of everything. If we had the money, we'd do more.
What tips do you have on attending a con in cosplay of your lot? Like prep, lasting the day, photo etiquette?
Definitely if you're kind of practicing for photos and stuff, mirrors. Definitely pose in front of the mirror. I know it sounds ridiculous, but definitely make sure that you have some poses. Otherwise, you will have the awkward kind of feeling. You're like, okay, someone wants to take a photo. How do I pose? But you want to be prepared for that, definitely.
Which I was definitely I was like caught way off guard because I hate being in front of the camera to start with. I'm okay with videos a bit better, but having photos taken of me, I am shocked. So she was forcing me to, she'd march me into the bathroom and just stand me in front of the mirror and go pose, pull a face, come on. So definitely, like if you're in a easily recognizable costume, I think people are definitely going to be like, hey, I know you, can I have a photo with you? So
you got to be prepared
for that. And then obviously from my point of view, if you have a disability or a medical condition that, you know, an existing medical condition, like someone like me, take what you know you need. Take your medication with you. This is going to sound dodgy. I hope Armageddon people don't just sneak in some food. I mean, like, because waiting in lines can be really, really long. Like you can be waiting in a line for food, like at Auckland Armageddon, for half an hour. You can just be standing in line waiting to eat. And if you have a medical condition, they'll let you bring food in. So I normally tend to bring like things like we've got the 1 square meal, so like
nuts
muesli bars, nuts, and the small bottles of water. Like, oh god, where's my tiny one? I know it looks silly, but they're the little kiddie drinks.
Really good.
They're really small size, but fruit juice, because you're gonna need the energy in some form or another. So fruit juice, little bits of lollies and stuff, because you don't want a sugar crash. I do that too often. I have all the sugar and then go.
Yeah.
So sugar is good for energy, but fruit juice, because then you're keeping yourself hydrated. So yeah. And know what you want to do there, because like especially with Comic-Con coming up, that's really full on. Like I'm looking at the schedule going, I want to go to that talk, but the cosplay comp's on, but that person's talking and I want to get that autograph. So yeah, so it's like, what do I do? So
panic.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, be prepared. You can tell I'm a girl guide leader.
Definitely you need to be. And 100%
be prepared. Like no, like if you're like, if you're wanting to go because a certain celebrity is going to be there, read the schedule, know when they're going to be there. Like
go earlier.
Go earlier.
Earlier.
If you just want to go to their talk, you know, get ready to go to the talk, but see where their signing is, etc. So you know,
good seats.
Yeah.
Good seats are always
not necessarily just for the good seats, but so you're not sort of caught off guard on the other side of Auckland Armageddon going, oh crap, there's a talk on.
And then like you're like half an hour trying to get through.
Luckily I did it on a day I had roller skates on. I was with the wrestling company wearing roller skates with the Derby girls. Anyway, long story. So I was on roller skates all day at one end of Auckland, you know, the Auckland Showgrounds, and I wanted to go to a talk at the other end, so that was good. I just ducked outside, skated up on the concrete path. Not everyone can do that though.
Yeah, unless you're, you know, cosplaying as someone with roller skates, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, and this was like a few years ago, so it's gotten a lot busier there since.
Oh,
so
definitely.
Definitely plan ahead. know what medications you need if you need them, because you don't want to be caught unprepared. And even if you're not, like if you're a norm like Becca, take along a bit of Panadol anyway, just in case, because you never know.
Wigs, headaches.
Wigs equal headaches.
Mm.
Just the heat and being in a costume all day, you may go, when you leave home, you may go, oh yeah, this fits comfortably, but 6 hours into it, you might just be going, oh, that blister on my foot, I need a plaster. So my favorite thing is, you know, those hardcover sunglass kits. I normally have one of those in my handbag, so I chuck it into my cosplay bag when I go as well. And then I've just got a bit of Panadol,
Bandages.
plasters, you know, just little things like that. Just a mini first aid kit, like mini first aid kit, and that can get you through anything. There's normally also needles and thread in there as well for like cosplay repairs, because we've gotten lucky these days.
I used to carry a stick of hot glue and a lighter.
Yeah.
So you know that was my
that
like
was her DIY. So we've gotten lucky at more recent Armageddons. They've actually set up a cosplay room.
Lounge,
so, yeah, the cosplay lounge. So that's good. So you don't have to be quite that extreme anymore. You can leave an actual hot glue gun there if you want to. But you know, just be aware of yourself and keeping yourself healthy, because you don't want to faint halfway through the day in a costume surrounded by strangers, you know. So have a plan, be prepared, grown up, blah blah.
Mum.
Oh dear.
Okay, so best and worst experiences at a Geddon.
Worst personally was definitely the missing out, because I didn't prepare. Like I said, I missed out on my 30th birthday party because I didn't prepare. That's my own personal worst. But
your best?
And my best, winning an award.
I knew it.
Oh, and meeting Jenna Coleman, that was a good one. I've met a few Doctor Who cast members. So that was pretty cool. It's like I got to have a photo with Jenna Coleman. So that was my little. But I've heard some other worse stories.
Yeah, like I think my worst was probably like Auckland Armageddon last year was my favorite, but on the Sunday we had an X-Men group and I had a very skin tight, metallic, shiny, attention grabbing Dark Phoenix costume on, and you know.
That will be seen again.
The whole cosplay is not consent thing was definitely around, because you know you get the kind of the guys that would just come up behind you, and it was not that great. And I had to have a very few choice words with some of them.
I think I've escaped that simply because one, I grew up in South Auckland, but I'm just a big girl, so it's sort of like no one's going to try and touch my ass without my permission, because I'm just going to. So luckily,
I just did that though.
I escaped the whole. Like for example, I do wear revealing costumes. Like I normally, like Mad Moxie from Borderlands, that character last year. It's very open front. You know.
Trying to keep it PG.
Very tactile.
Very PG.
We get it.
Yeah. So it's like, I had people staring, yes, and I was expecting that, but that's fine. I didn't have anybody, thankfully. I have heard, and especially other Moxie cosplayers, like wearing that costume, because it shows off both ends of your body.
Everything.
I've heard people in that costume having people just come up and shove their face in their boobs. It's like, excuse me? So, you know, that's what I mean. I'm lucky that I haven't experienced that yet. But I am a, you know, very Amazonian sort of statuesque person that no one's gonna, And so don't, they don't tend to push that limit. I think at Auckland we tend to be a little bit better. Like, we haven't got as many people who... I haven't heard as
Well, it
many...
was last year when you were there.
Yeah, it was when I wasn't being her bodyguard. I seriously believe I tend to act as her bodyguard sometimes
probably
at Armageddon because
I don't look vicious, but I'm like a chihuahua, you know, like
she's a
really,
chihuahua.
really tiny, vicious
What
creature.
kind of dog am I? No, I'm just a wolf. I'm just outright, don't mess with me. Especially, like, I'm pushing 6 foot already, and most of the costumes that we sort of decide on as a pair require me to wear heels. So I'm well over the 6 foot mark, and I'm a big girl.
Bigger than me. Bigger than me.
So I'm a tall, very solidly built person, and used to be a pro wrestler, so bodyguard.
Diva.
So that's I think the big thing, and it goes for guys as well. Like, you know, yes, you've got the guy being Leonidas, but doesn't mean he wants girls coming out and getting all handsy with them. So
unless you're DJ Qualls and he's touching your nipple, because that's what Leonidas enjoys. That I've heard, you know.
But that was consensual.
That was consensual.
So yeah, and I think it's just the nasty comments is the other thing. And you've got the...
That would be more your domain. I don't think I've ever had that.
I haven't had nasty comments. I've had people commenting, giving nasty comments about my friends while I'm there, and
nasty comments is not cool.
It's not cool. It's definitely something that words do hurt. They do. So it's not always, you know, the cosplayer's consent sort of mantra that is being said is not just about physical contact. It's also what you say to a person in cosplay, like, oh, you're too fat to be that person, or give my drink.
No, you're fiddling with it.
Yeah, so it's just the whole gotta be respectful. Drama.
Oh, that. So, what is your favourite cosplay that you've seen, as well as your favourite cosplay is?
Keely! Keely!
That was awesome. I got to see that up close. It's so cool.
Did you cry? Did you, like, are you talking about
the Katniss Everdeen? Because my judging time slot at Auckland was at the same time as hers. So I was in the judging room, and I was just like, I got to see it up close, pretty much. And I was just like, that was impressive. I was like going, okay, I spent this long sewing this one dress. You had to make 3? What?
That were removable like that too.
Mad props to that girl.
Yeah, honestly,
you know,
like, I hate Hunger Games. Like, I don't even like it, but I loved Keely's costume. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's just amazing.
And this is pre me cosplaying myself. I was like, had a little bit of a fangirl with with Kyle Simpson and his Loki cosplay.
Oh yeah,
because I'm a big Loki
That is
fan.
such a good cosplay though.
I was just like,
thank God he doesn't compete anymore.
that is just so, you know, and just so many people that I've seen photos of after the fact, because when you're at Armageddon you're running around yourself, so you don't always get to bump in and actually stop and admire everybody's things. So it's sort of a seeing photos and just it's too many to name.
Yeah,
I think we're all
definitely like in
yourself, of course. You know,
yeah, we loved your blade.
That your fangs. Seriously, I know. Just like the things people, just the ingenuity of it as well. You know, like you made your own set of fangs. I wouldn't have thought of using those techniques to make them. So I was like, I think cosplay scene in general as well is just, it's impressive. Within New Zealand especially, we definitely have that, you know, number 8 wire mentality of how can I make this?
Yeah,
What
sure.
can I do? You know, so that impressed. I'm just impressed. I'm
Yes.
still such a noob.
And it's like, you know, you have the people in New Zealand, but then you obviously have like your cosplay
big
idols,
names.
like, you know, Kamui is a goddess, and Yaya, she's amazing.
Yeah, they're
You
our
know,
two
her
favorites.
seems to, oh my god, I
Definitely.
just can't even deal with it. But you know, I also follow a few cosplayers in Australia, like Eve Beauregard. She's amazing. You know, she's a really good cosplayer. If you haven't seen her, check her out. And yeah, just a few. I mean, there's also, you know, like
is it Reid Johnson?
Yeah,
I think she's my favorite because she does a lot of Wonder Woman cosplays. She's an Australian as well.
Obsessed.
Oh look, I am an Amazon in heart. We cannot deny this. There's a little bit too much Wonder Woman going on.
Oh,
in my
and definitely
bedroom.
Riddle as well.
Riddle cosplay.
You know,
Riddle's,
I was
what is it?
actually
Riddle's messy wardrobe.
Riddle's messy wardrobe, and I can't wait to meet her at Wellington. You know, I was looking at making one of her costumes that I actually saw on the TV show Heroes of Cosplay, and I was actually talking to her through Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're this big ass cosplayer. You have time for a little girl in New Zealand." You know, like I was just
we
blown
actually
away by
thank
that.
her because unfortunately one of my planned cosplays I've had to put aside, but it was something that Kamui has made before. So Becca
Oh yeah, I went and
messaged her.
messaged her, and I was like, "I wonder if she replied."
because it
And,
was
you know,
because I had one reference picture for it, and I was like, what does the back of it look like? What does the other side of the sword look like? Becca messaged
and
Kamui.
I think she thought I was joking at the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I come barreling into her room and I was like, she replied! Just losing
to a private Facebook message.
Completely.
Not like Becca didn't put it on her page. She private messaged Kamui and she messaged back. So we were just like, so yes, Kamui and Yaya. If Yaya Han replied to our messages, we
Yeah. I don't think I've actually messaged her, but if she would reply. But oh my god,
I could not speak.
it's like because I see them, you know, like we see them as celebrities, you know, because we're kind of in that kind of thing. Like they're not movie stars, but
They make things that we want to be able to make one day.
yeah, you know,
So
like they are definitely an
their skill level.
inspiration. And when they kind of reply, you're like, you have so much like things, you know, you're traveling America in a con circuit, but you have the time
It's like
to reply to us.
we think we're on a time crunch, and we're like students
Some of the
works
things that they do,
part-time.
you know.
And cosplay, and we think that we're trying to cram so much in, but for someone who does it for a living as well as pumping out an entire new costume in a week, you know,
Like Yaya.
replying to us, like Yaya will, you know, go, oh, I'm going to a con next week, I better start my costume, and she will,
And you're like, what?
and they find the time to reply to your messages. It's like that in itself makes them even more respectable, is because, you know, they're not just riding their popularity, they're actually earning
Yeah,
our hearts.
and I mean, one cosplayer that I actually follow quite regularly is Jessica Mirazin, and she was also on Heroes of Cosplay with Holly. And you know, I stream on Twitch like video games and things like that, and I found out that she streams on her own channel. She has less followers than me, and I was kind of like, why don't you have like 1 million followers? She's like, you know, I just started and stuff like that, and I'm pretty much in her stream like every day. She's so nice, like incredibly nice, and it's just so weird that they're real normal people. You know, like you're like,
you tend to
what?
forget that you see them on TV and you think they're not, you know.
But you know, she was just sitting there with her messy hair, and she was having fun and talking to her followers and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god, she's just munching on screen, like she didn't even care. It's great. My idol.
Lots of favourite cosplayers.
Yeah, they
Definitely.
were my favourite on that show by far.
Yeah.
So are you guys more a fan of the huge foam armor builds that we're seeing nowadays, like the Iron Man Destiny cosplays, or like the more elegant sun costumes that Yaya Han does? Or, given the company you both run, obviously, which we'll talk about soon, the Warbler armor builds that Kamui Cosplay is so famous?
Well, like we said, two of our favourites are Yaya Han and Kamui Cosplay. So, definitely, the combination of the two, I think, for me, I think Becca probably agrees. It's definitely the combination. Like it's how you bring that how true you are to that character, or how well you bring it together as a whole piece. So, like, yeah, Yaya's are generally more seamstress skills, and Kamoe's are more armor builds, but they both do
insane things.
Yeah, they both do it well, and when they combine the elements well, I think that's what is important for me when I look at a costume. It's they've done the armor part well, but they were slack on, that they just wore a pair of jeans from the thrift shop, when it's meant to be a pair of tights. It's sort of that, have they put it together as a whole well. I think that's how I'm impressed, because I just like all aspects of everything,
I think
like wigs and like styling a wig in itself is a skill. So I'm like, hands up to them. It's just hats off to them, because I don't even like wearing wigs. So
yeah, and I think like especially with Yaya, the things that she's done with cosplay is just insane. Like when she did, I can't remember what the character was, but she did a costume on stilts. And she learned to walk on stilts and everything like that for cosplay, and I'm like,
yeah, I think
what?
Yeah, I think the things that impress us are definitely not so much
Super
what
dedication.
you've made, it's or how you've made it. It's definitely the dedication that you put to it, and how you present it in the end, like how you act in it as well. I think not act, but
how
are you comfortable in it? Are you how you bring it to life. It's just how you bring your costume to life, whether it's a dead accurate costume or one you've created yourself. It's just has it come together well?
How do you wear it,
I'm a whole, big picture kind of girl. So.
Yeah, that Banshee Queen cosplay was just, if you were going to
Banshee Queen, that's right. Yeah.
Absolutely kill. That's what you'd come back with. And she just
time and time again. And it's like, that Banshee Queen was just a bit of everything. So it's, the overall visual effect.
All right, so now we're going to get to a little bit of shameless plugging, I suppose you would say, for your guys' company. So let's talk a little now about the company you both
a little
run.
Baby.
What is it, and how did it come into being?
We dubbed coined the term alter ego. No, we didn't coin it ourselves, obviously, but it happened not long after we first moved in together. I moved into an existing flat situation after knowing Becca for about 6 months at that point. And, we met through cosplay. So it was just like that was what brought us together. To start with, my younger brother was interested as well. So the three of us had been batting ideas around. My younger brother does help out with some things, like at Hamilton with our starter packs that we'll talk about. He helped us cut stuff up. Like if I say jump, he's already jumped before he even asked how high. So he's a good sort. So he's sort of like an honorary. So we moved in together. A couple of months later, we're like, well, this is something we both enjoy. Something that we're both dedicated to seeing through. So let's do it together. Let's by our powers combined. We sort of just moved forward from that and just started putting ideas together and thought, hey, if it interests us, maybe it'll interest other people.
Yeah, well, I mean, for alter ego, I think it was just kind of like we didn't find it fair how expensive or how uneasy and unavailable
that was
products
the main
were,
motivation for that.
For us ourselves and for our community. And so we were like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's just build something and hopefully, you know, other cosplayers will, you know, enjoy
Appreciate
that, you know, that we've done this for them, and then yeah, it
Sort
kind
of
of
just reached out to the appropriate businesses and sort of said, hey, this is what we're wanting to do.
Yep.
And they were happy that, yeah, they were really good to work with, so they just sort of went, yep, sweet. Boris.
Boris from Cathrat.
So he's our wonderful,
Godsend.
yeah, godsend Boris.
And also I think the fact that, you know, we have 2 different sides to our business. So Regan, you know, with her accounting background, things like that, she kind of took care of all the boring kind of stuff, you know, like all the money issues and financial. And then I was like more the, you know, the creative side of things. Like I designed the logo for the business and all that kind of thing. I did get some help with that as well. But yeah, you know, like just putting up the website, all the social media and everything like that. And we just kind of just marketing it to the community, really.
Because it was sort of we complement each other both in business skills, like I've got the admin, she's got the creative side of the business, and our cosplay skills, because at that point I'd had a little bit more experience with sewing, she'd had more experience with props.
I wouldn't say that, just say that I didn't really like the sewing machine as much as you did.
So we complemented each other in the best ways.
And it was like playing with power tools.
And of course, yeah, we were just like, well, we like our I don't know if you want to put that up, the webpage. But the logo is just sort of sums us up. It's like we're kind of 2 halves of the same thing. We both do it. We both enjoy it. We've got this sort of, what are we doing over there?
Sharing the screen. Calm down.